time lapse. Ding, back in the room. Here we go, look. And now it's cooked on a bit more. I like it with these YouTubers, they go along and they go, and it all moves quickly. That's all chopped up and that's in, just to save time. Now it's still not cooked, but we'll carry on with that. And what we'll do is we'll put the tomatoes in. Okay, mush that in and stir it round. Now the tomatoes is there to add some flavour. Oh yeah, and I've got something else to put in as well. I'll put a few peas in there as well, so that's in the filling. You've got to get your veggies in. Now, if there are loads of you vegetarians out there, what I'll do is I'll get a load of vegetables, mix it in here, and then I'll put it in the pie. So it'll be vegetable pie. It'll be all the vegetables minus the meat. So it'll be onions, and then I'll put swede and all that kind of stuff in it. All the vegetables you put together. Right, so it's coming along nicely now, as you can see. Keep it on the heat. Get the lid on it. That is looking good. Then I've got to make the pastry. That's going to be good. Time to test the potatoes. Now, the potatoes and carrots are being together. Now, top tip. The potato water you put in a jug to one side with the carrot juice, and you make the gravy with that. Right? That's what you do. Number one, you save water. Number two, you get all the flavours of the. You get the flavours. So you get all the flavours out of that. And if you've got juices, if you've got meat juices and all the rest of it, you add that in as well. So your gravy. When I do a roast, what I'll do, I'll show you how to do it, and I'll get the old flour in and mix it round up, make a roux, make a paste. Once you make the paste, you add the water, and you keep on going until it becomes a nice gravy. And I'll tell you what, the taste is phenomenal. So that's all good. So there's that. The pie's taking shape nicely. It's just the filling I'm doing first. So I'm going to do this, put that to one side, let it get cooler, because it'll be so much easier. And then do this, mash it, and then leave it to one side. Now, and then fill the pie up. Simple. And then I can either do mash again or I'll do chips. Because I've done mash, I'm going to do mash. So what I'll do is I'll do chips. So we're doing a big pie. So you can have just pie and mash, and if it's all in, so that's an all in pie. So if you're going out and you can do a pasty, so you do a pasty, you do the pastry, you put all these ingredients in, that's your meal. And then you put it in the oven, it's this big pasty like that, and you wrap it into silver foil, and then you go to work, and then when you want it, you either put it in the microwave, heat it up, or you can have it cold, and it's a nice, and it's your dinner. And of course there's gravy in there, as soon as you bite into it, it's like, And use the silver foil. Really good, so you can make it. You can sort of make it like a pasty. It's got all. It's a whole lot better. Moving on. Right. Nearly done. This is nearly done. And of course it's made its own gravy, but what I will do is I'll put some gravy granules in. What I'll do is I'll use some of the water from that, put it in there. When it's done, I'll do that last thing, that just thickens it up nicely. So imagine eating a pie with your silver foil like that, and then there's gravy in it, and it's all and you've got the meat and you've got potatoes. That's one complete meal in one. And what they used to do with pasties is they used to put their pudding in the back of it. So therefore, one part of it was apple pie, the other part of it was pasties. So that's one meal, one big pasty about this big, and you can get them in. You know, the traditional Cornish pasty, you had your afters in, so you have to be careful. You can eat your afters first, it's like custard and that. But which end? So what they did was, when they put the a little bit of a pastry mark on the bit you start first. So you do your dinner, and then you're coming down, finish your dinner, and then you eat your pudding, apple pie with custard in it as well. And they normally that big. And that's one meal. That's one meal, one pasty, one meal, pastry, the whole lot. How do you divide it up? Well, you put pastry in the middle, don't you? And you put the divider up, you put the apple pie, and you go over like that. And then you put the meat pit in there, and you put that over like that. And it's all one. So it's all one. It's just divided up with a bit of pastry in the middle. And then you put your egg white over it, or your egg. I'll do the whole egg. Put the whole egg over it, right? And then you put it in the oven. And then what you do, you let it cool, take it off the silver foil, put it in silver foil. After you've cooled it, always condensation to make it all go soggy, horrible. So you do that, and then what you do is, if you was back in the day, they used to have fires, they didn't have all these microwaves. So what they did was, because it's in silver foil, you put it on the coals of the fire. You do it for about 10 minutes and then turn it round like that. And it's nice and hot, so that's good on the barbecue. So you take it off and you go, oh, that's nice and hot. I've got myself a hot meal, hot pie, and of course at the back of it I've got my pudding as well. So I've got my apple pie or cherry pie, whatever pie you want to call it. So the best one was apples and pears pie. So you had some apples, some pears, put the apples and pears together in this pie at the end, and of course they had silver foil in it or whatever. Yeah, or if they didn't have silver foil in them days, they used paper, plain paper. It's like the old newspaper. Newsprint, it's like, yeah. They use special paper, but I would stick with silver foil myself, I think. And what that did was it keep it warm. So the silver foil kept it warm. So you had a little pie. I tell you what, or of course the blacksmiths, they put it at the fire, didn't they? So they had a nice bit hot on the fire. So when it was their time to have their break, so they had their cup of tea and their pipe, little cigarette thing, whatever it is, and then they got the pasty, put it on, other side, nice and done. They sit down and they have their thing. And once they have their dinner, they have their drink. Normally they'd have a beer because that's what they did. Got the beer and that, beautiful. I don't drink, but yeah. Right, now that is done. That it's made its own gravy up because of the meat and the stock and everything else. And the gelatine in the meat, which is naturally in the meat, that is there. That is done. That is a meal in itself. So the next thing I want to do, mash all that up, let that cool down, do my pastry, and I've got myself a pie. And then what I'll do is, I'll do some homemade chips, and we can have pie chips with gravy. Very nice. Awesome.